welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much to everyone who has taken time to subscribe to the channel. Thanks to everyone who is taking the time to watch the videos. Thanks to everyone, man, who has been commenting as well and sending messages. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We have some really exciting topics that are coming your way. I'm really excited, especially about next week's topic. But anyway, today is about today. So if you're new and you don't want to miss any of it, please subscribe and click the red button as well next to the subscribe button, that red bell. That will notify you of any new videos that we have. So some of my people have been telling me like, girl, we don't hear you very well. So what I've done is I have placed an order for a mic. I don't have a mic, guys. Like, this is new to me, so I'm just learning as I go. So they sent me a wrong mic last week, but placed another order, so now I should be getting that one next week. So everything should be fine after that, I hope. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. So our topic for today is the powerful choose to forgive. Now, what does forgiveness mean to me? Forgiveness, first, it's about freeing yourself. It's designed to set you free. When I say I forgive, it means I know what you did. It's not okay, but I choose to rise above it. I don't want to be held captive to this thing. I can heal myself, and I don't need you. Forgiveness allowed me to live my life fully. It had nothing to do with being a good person. I promise you, I didn't want to forgive anyone. I was angry, just like everybody else. This might come as a surprise, but forgiveness in itself doesn't heal you. You have to forgive, and then you have to start the healing process after that, after you've forgiven. Now that is the dirty job, because now you have to be vulnerable. You have to admit to your mistakes. You have to admit to what you contributed to the mess as well. So you need to be real here. It's not something that you can just, you can just pass it. There's no stage that you need to pass. It's a mess. It's a messy job. That's why I'm calling it a dirty job. Because now you have to look at yourself and say, what the hell? What did I contribute to this? What happened? Where did I go wrong? And you need to be real. You need to look at yourself in a way that you've never looked at yourself before. Only then can the real healing begin. Now, I know, man, that our culture thinks vengeance is freedom. Like, I'm going to get him, or I'm going to get her, I'm going to show her. But that's actually a prison. When we choose vengeance, we're actually signing a blood oath to chain our story to the enemy for the rest of our lives. Forgiveness for me was the true path to freedom. Most of us avoid forgiveness because we don't want to look at our wounds. I mean, wounds are nasty to look at. Nobody wants to look at the wounds. They are scary. It's much easier to take the emotion and channel it to another person and be angry at another person and channel the whole rage to another person. Anger is important. Like, it is important to be angry. I mean, you are even justified in most cases to be angry. But for me, I had to take that anger. Almost when you are angry, you get hot, like your blood is hot and you're breathing heavily. Now I took that heat. I healed my wounds with the same heat from the anger. Carrying what my ex-husband did to me in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind, was too much a cost to bear. I had to understand that choosing myself was much more important than holding on to the pain. And that's when I was ready to forgive. That's when I knew that I was ready to forgive. I think I sent him a message telling him that I forgive you. I wish you well in your life. Now, I was not expecting him to reply or to send me a message and say thank you. And that's another thing that you have to do when you decide to forgive someone and tell them. But some people do, they write a letter to the person, or write it down, and then they actually just burn the paper and then, you know, let the ashes go, whichever way you choose. But for me, it was very I had to do it. Like, I felt like, listen, I'm not scared of you. I need to show you that you did nothing to me. Like, you didn't destroy me. I'm still going to be the same faith, you know, that I was before I met you. So you can't have expectations when you've forgiven someone. You can't expect any type of outcome. You just have to let it be. Now, you can only forgive once you've healed. Once you've healed enough, not once you've healed, because the healing thing also takes time. So I don't want to lie to you and say, like, once you forgive, you're going to heal, everything is going to be okay. No. You can only forgive once you've healed just enough that you have nothing to lose. If you're still in pain, it's still too soon to forgive, and that's okay. When the time comes, you'll know. When you're ready, you'll know. If you can't roll up your sleeves and show me your scars and say, this is what happened to me, it's still too early to forgive. But one thing for sure, though, it's never too late to let go of the villains, to set yourself free, to reclaim yourself. If you are ready to let go of all the anger, all the resentment, all the grief, the trauma, and you're open to finding out who you are, instead of always trying to prove yourself, then you're ready. So the first thing that I had to do was to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself. I had to be willing. I think that's another thing when it comes to forgiveness. You have to be willing to do it. So I had to be willing to forgive myself for putting myself in that situation, for allowing another human being to come into my life and change who I am. I mean, all the signs were there, but I chose to ignore them. I had to admit I had twisted beliefs about what love is and what love should look like. I allowed someone to come into my life when I was in a happy place. I was growing in my career, I was doing great, and I was focused on my goals. And he just came and ruined that. And I allowed that. So I had to admit, I had to be real with myself about that. I mean, I saw it as helping me grow, you know? I know. So I thought this is what perhaps happens when someone loves you, when someone wants to marry you, when someone wants to build a family with you. I know I was twisted. I had to admit that I was twisted. I was not allowed to be the crazy person that I am. I was not allowed to be loud. I was not allowed to dance anymore. I mean, he met me like that at varsity. Me and my friends, we used to dance on top of tables. I do that even now at home, like even in my own house, like at home. Like, they know me with that. I would be dancing in the kitchen while I'm cooking and everything. But now, while I was with this guy, I was not allowed to do any of that. I allowed it to happen. That's how twisted I was. So I allowed him to tone me down. You know, at times he would say to me, "You're too bubbly, just tone it down." And wow. But anyway, I allowed it to happen. I was made to believe that a married woman should carry herself, behave in a certain way. Like there was some kind of standard or formula, or some type of rules to follow to this thing. I've never been one to follow rules, ever. I've always been a unicorn. Whenever people would go right, I would literally go left. Just for the fun of it, because I didn't believe in following any rules, you know. I just always wanted to be myself. I just always wanted to do my own thing. I didn't follow any crowds. And I had to forgive myself for allowing him to do that to me. I had to forgive myself for allowing another human to be God in my life. Because literally that's who he was. I mean, if he had said to me, don't do this, I would not do it. The whole thing, man, about pleasing their husband, and they tell us in church and whatever, you know, that's what it was about. That's what it was about. Um, I literally allowed him to change every aspect of my life. I had to let go of the guilt of thinking I could have done better because there was nothing else left to do. I gave him everything. I gave him everything I had. I had to tell myself that, Nkosazana, this chapter of your life is over. Close it with grace. Close it with grace. Don't close it with anger, because I could. I mean, that's easy to do. I had to close it with grace because I knew that my life depended on it. I had to tell myself, like, if you had known better, you would have done better. So I knew one thing, that for me to get rid of him, I had to forgive him. Now, when it comes to forgiveness, there's no fake it till you make it. You actually have to do the work. Like, you have to put in the work. Otherwise, the root of unforgiveness will eat you up alive. You know, you'll be walking around, but you'll be eaten up alive. I've seen this happen to a lot of people. I've seen it happen to a lot of friends, where someone looks good on the outside, looks like everything is going well, but like there's something that is eating them on the inside, and it's really painful. It's painful to watch. I can only imagine what it feels like to the person. Listen, for me, I didn't want to carry the burden, man. I wanted to be free. Like, I believe, like, life, you should just enjoy life, no matter what the circumstances are. Like, I believe in that. I believe that when they bury me, they should just say, she enjoyed life. That one, she enjoyed life, and she took everything as it comes, and she was a free person. I've always been a free person, and I didn't want this now to be like, you know, a cross that I'm going to have to carry for the rest of my life. I didn't want any of that. So I refused resentment. I once loved this person. This is still the father of my child. So like, how are we going to do this parenting thing now? If I'm busy carrying things, I'm busy angry, I'm resentful, I'm bitter. I couldn't do that to myself. I couldn't do that to my daughter. I chose to have the courage to forgive. I chose to say, I'm done with this, and put it down. And for me, I think that's when my life changed. That's where everything came around for me. When I said, okay, I'm done with this, I'm putting it down. But I won't lie to you. It involved a lot of mental gymnastics, because a lot of things go through your mind. A lot of things happen. You have to deal with a lot of things within yourself. There's nothing more difficult than dealing with yourself. Don't worry about dealing with everybody else, but when you're dealing with yourself, when you're dealing with your own emotions, when you're dealing with your own insecurities, when you're dealing with your own things, that's heavy. So I also made a decision that I'm going to forgive his family for everything they did. But now, I also had to be real about what am I forgiving them for. For each and every person that I'm forgiving, I had to be real. I had to say, why? Why are you forgiving them? So for his mother, I had to forgive her for mistaking me as competition. I had to forgive her for wanting her son to be her husband. I had to forgive her for refusing to accept me as a daughter who wanted nothing but the best for her. Because I really wanted to treat her as my own mother. I really wanted what's best for her. I really wanted to make sure that she was taken care of, like any other mother, you know. I had to forgive her for allowing her disapproval of me to rob her of being a grandmother to my daughter. um, because she robbed herself of a relationship with my child as well. My child really doesn't have a relationship with her, because she heard things that were said about her mother in front of her. She was asked questions about her mother. She was very young, but she would come back and tell me, like, I was asked this and this and the other one. So she knows those things, and kids don't forget. I had to forgive her for wanting me to feel the same pain that she felt when a man she had three kids with left her and married another woman. I had to understand that she was still bitter from that, and she had misplaced her bitterness to me, and I didn't deserve that. I mean, this is something that she's been carrying for decades, so I had to forgive her for that. Now I had to be real about forgiving the sister, because I had to sit down and say, Faith, why are you forgiving her? Why are you forgiving this lady? Well, first I said to myself, I forgive you for inheriting your mother's pain and wounds. I had to forgive her for robbing herself of a sister, someone she can learn a lot from and have a lasting relationship with. I had to forgive her for seeing her brother as a source of happiness and provision. I had to forgive her for failing to understand that she is a woman just like me and doesn't know what the future holds for herself. I had to forgive her for refusing and robbing herself of being a great aunt to a beautiful princess because she despised her mother. I had to forgive her for seeing me as the other woman in her brother's life, the one who came to take what belongs to us. I had to forgive her and let it all go. Drop it down. Now, one thing about me is I'm always careful about what I do as a mother, because as also as a mother to a daughter, you know, I really have to be careful about what I do, because my daughter is learning from me. She's watching me. At times we don't know this as parents, but they are watching you, because I can still remember the things that my mother did. I can still remember the men who made my mother cry and the reasons, you know, but I was very young, but I was watching her. Sometimes I would be scared to ask her, like, Mommy, what happened? But I can still remember those things. So I had to forgive for my daughter's sake, because I didn't want to pass on the pain to my daughter. I didn't want my daughter to now end up fighting battles she had nothing to do with. I didn't want her to be fighting generational pain, if there's such a thing as that. I didn't want her to fight battles that had nothing to do with her. Sometimes as parents, we fail to understand that the things that we refuse to deal with, as both mothers and fathers, fathers to your sons, mothers to your daughters, the things that we refuse to deal with, they get passed on to our kids. Things like poverty mindsets as well, generational curses, unproductive belief systems, what we think about men, what we believe about ourselves, all of these things, they get passed on to our kids. We fail to understand that there's a whole bloodline that will come after us, and we are responsible for creating the path for them. We fail to understand that there are lives that depend on us, that there are generations that depend on us breaking the generational curses and healing our wounds. If I hadn't healed my wounds, my daughter would carry on that pain. I know that for sure. So I had to deal with these wounds. I had to heal them and create a path for her to walk through, knowing that my mommy dealt with this. So I don't have to deal with it anymore. We fail to understand that our kids are watching us. Just because they don't say anything doesn't mean they don't see. At times they will ask you like subtle questions like, Mommy, why did he do that to you? Why is he acting like this? Why are you single? But we just answer. Sometimes we answer out of anger, or we just answer without even thinking. But I promise you, they are recording this. Whatever you say, they are recording it. And they will never forget it. Their conversation will always stay in their subconscious. And when they are older, they will remember. So I think one other thing that most people fail to understand is forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. It's actually a gift that you give to yourself. There's nothing to do with them. You free yourself from pain, man. You let go. You let go. You let go. You allow yourself to live life and enjoy life for what it is. When you flow freely with life as it is in the moment, you're not holding on to the past. You are just free. You are able to create your future as well, because you're no longer holding on to the past. When you blame another, you give your power away, because you're placing the responsibility for your feelings on someone else. And that's really not a way to live life. Because now you always go around and telling people that I was hurt, therefore I'm like this, because you are robbing yourself of actually meeting a great person that deserves to be in your life, that is going to love you right. Because you're holding on to this thing. It's just not worth it, man. For me, I was like, listen, I am not about to carry this thing. I'm not about to bleed on someone that didn't cut me. I'm not about to meet a great man and now I'm unable to love him because of what happened to me. Or like I'm judging him because of what happened to me. Or like he has to tiptoe around me, like he doesn't know what to say. Like, hey, pinches and tunuka when he says, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a way to live, man. Taking responsibility for your own feelings and reactions is actually mastering your own ability to respond. Like, don't allow someone else to be responsible for the way you feel. You just learn to constantly choose how you react to things. Love yourself. Let yourself off the hook. I don't know who said this to me, but someone said this to me a while back. Like, let yourself off the hook. You deserve to be free. You deserve to live a fulfilling life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to know what love feels like. You deserve to know what love is. Forgive everyone that has ever hurt you, man. It's not worth it, bruh. I promise you. It's not worth it. For me, I think maybe a lot of people will even think that I'm stupid, like people who have done me wrong. Man, I just forgive you. Like, I want you out. Like, it doesn't mean like we're going to be friends now or anything. Like, no. I don't play like that. But like, I forgive you because I want you out of my system. Like, get out of my system. I want to free myself from negativity. Like, it works for me all the time. I can't keep on holding on to what each and every human does to me. No, man. People are still going to do stuff. People are still going to disappoint you. People are still going to hurt you. People are still going to lie to you. I mean, people lie to God each and every day. So guys, really, if I can advise you, I'm 5 to 40 years now. I mean, I've lived, I've seen things, I've experienced things. And I think I've got some wisdom stored up somewhere. So if I could give you any advice, man, is as long as you don't forgive, you're actually poisoning yourself. Famous quote, I don't know by who, says, if you don't forgive, it's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. That's literally the best best description of what unforgiveness is. Because you are the one who's going around with the hate. You are the one who's walking around with the resentment. You are the one who's walking around with hate. It's all you. The other person that you're not forgiving is probably living their best life, is probably, doing their own thing. And here you are, whenever their name is being mentioned, something comes up here. That's what some women say. It's like, anytime his name is being mentioned, it's like something comes up here. Do what? You're making your body sick. You can actually even develop cancer from that. Oh, man. You're letting these people control your life. You're letting them continue to hurt you. Because that's what they're doing. It's not about how you feel. Sometimes we have to do things we don't feel like doing in this life. That's how life is. But it's for our own good. You have to always make sure that you always respond with love. Always act from a place of love. I know it's difficult. But it's doable. Just overcome evil with good, always. It'll help you. It's not about everybody else. It's not about what people are doing to you. Always overcome evil with good. I've met many men and many women, beautiful souls, great people, succeeding in all areas of their life. But they just can't get the love right because they haven't forgiven the previous people that have had them. They're still holding on to pain. They're still holding on to resentment. They just choose, they refuse to forgive the people that have had them. These are people who deserve real love, guys. These are people who deserve authentic love. But they are robbing themselves because of unforgiveness. Life is too short. Life is too short to hold on to hurt. Life is too short to hold on to anger. Life is too short to walk around with resentment. That thing is heavy. That thing can kill you. There's a lot of diseases that can kill people, but I promise you that thing will kill you. Choose to forgive, man. Let go. Live your best life. Enjoy life. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to subscribe, man. If you want to hear more, if you have any value, if you've gained any value from this video, please like it, share it. Just look on the positive side of life. There's more to life. There's more to enjoy. There's a lot that's still coming our way. Regardless of what's happening right now, life is still exciting. Life is still exciting. Each and every day, find things that make you happy. Do those things. Talk to the people that make you happy. Ignore the ones that don't. Let go. Move on. Let's leave, man. Let's leave. We only have one life. I love you all.